All right, welcome to MindBody Chair Yoga, first of the season. Very excited to start practicing with you, so meet you on the chair. So coming forward on the chair, taking the knees nice and wide. Maybe stretching out the face some, squeeze and spread the toes. Maybe some circling of the wrists, open and close the fists. Just some movement to settle into the body here. And there's gonna be lots of new stuff today, so I'm going to be taking it nice and slow, also because we're just kind of getting back into the practice, even though lots of people did practice over the summer. It's nice to just, kind of ease back into it. So we'll just start by bringing the attention inward toward the body. So closing the eyes or gazing downward. And we can just take this moment to observe the breath as it expands and as it contracts the body. With each breath in and each breath out. And I think about September in a similar way as like the new year, like January 1st. September, there's also a sense of newness, of starting again, beginning again. And here we can take this opportunity to just kind of set an intention for new routines, relinquishing the past. In particular, busy summer, with lots of activity and, honoring that for all the wonderfulness of that. But setting this intention for moving forward and to be committed to taking care of yourself, body, the heart, the mind. And with that, I'll invite you to bring your hands up to heart center. And we'll just take a moment here and initiate this practice, this new season, with a unifying breath as we inhale together. Taking a breath in, exhale, releasing, and just also taking a moment just to honor this 5,000-year-old practice that we have modified and changed over the centuries. Stretch out the face, let's just roll out the shoulders a little bit. But essentially, it has remained the same in that we practice in the present moment and without judgment. Just seeing things as they are, accepting things as they are. And then we'll take a big breath in and exhale. We're just going to take the chin down towards the chest just to check out the range of motion. We're not going to try to stretch anything. We're just going to check out the range of motion here. Take the head a little to the left. Notice where you stop. Take the head a little to the right. Again, note where you stop. Come back to the center. And we'll lift the chin. We're doing like a little kind of litmus test here. Big breath in, shoulders down. Gazing over the left shoulder. And when you stop, just honor where you are. Just kind of notice where, the direction the nose is pointing. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. And just notice again this range of motion. Where are you at? And bringing the head back to center, inhaling, exhale, take that left ear to left shoulder, stopping when you meet resistance, maybe even checking on your screen, like just the distance between your shoulder and your ear. Inhale up. Exhale, stopping when you meet that resistance. Inhale up and exhale, release. So we're going to do a variety of new stretches and movements before we stretch out the neck. So exploring where we are, and then we'll check in when we're done how these stretches have affected our range of motion in those variety of directions. So to start, we're going to get our I Dream of Genie arms out, and it doesn't matter which one is on top. We're going to alternate each time. We're going to take a big breath in and exhale up. Inhale down. Just switch it over. Exhale up. And do that again. Inhale, switch it. And exhale. Nice and tall spine. Inhale, switch it. And exhale. Good. Stretch at the face, roll up the shoulders just a bit. Good. Now this time, we're going to take our I Dream of Genie arms out again, and this time we're going to take our right arm on top of the left. All right, we're going to take a big breath in, and exhale, guide our elbow over to the left, just as far as it can. Inhale back. We're going to do that 5 times in the same direction. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, big breath in, exhale, keeping your torso forward, your gaze forward, inhale, keep the navel lifted, inhale. Great, release, big breath in. Exhale, gaze over to the left and just see the range of motion. Has it changed? Just kind of see kind of the direction of the nose. Inhale back, exhale over to the other side. Check out if there's been a shift. I know personally it's pretty significant on the one side, somewhat significant on the other. Inhale back, good, roll up the shoulders. Good, arms out, and we're going to do internal, external rolling of the arms and shoulders, and I want you to be thinking about the back. Think about the upper back. So yes, we're moving the arms, but I want you to think about this as a back stretch. Shoulder blades, shifting and gliding and sliding, and it's like a little upper body twist. You can kind of see how just my upper body, not my waist, is kind of shifting, a little mini twist as we kind of try and come into that full internal, external rotation. Last one. Big breath in, release, roll out the shoulders. Okay, just like kind of softly interlace the fingers and bring it up overhead. Sit nice and tall, lift the navel, big breath in. Exhale, if you can, bringing the fingertips as close to the shoulder as possible. I'm going to come a little bit closer so that you can see. Like bringing both fingertips close to the shoulder. If it doesn't touch, that's fine. If you can keep it together, that's fine. But like without forcing or straining, like that was too much. I did it on that side and it was too much. So just coming over. Keep going. And release. Yeah, let's get a little water. Okay, see what you notice. Okay, and so this is going to be the last one now. Just take one arm, doesn't matter which one, take it up and kind of touch right where your neck and your back meet, kind of behind your head. And then do that on the other side. So the palm is touching, or like the tips of the fingers are touching. Okay, now we're gonna add in the other arm. So say your top arm is on the top, the bottom arm, there's an internal rotation so that the back of the hand touches either the small of the back or any amount up towards your upper hand, and then you reverse. So the lower hand, there's that internal rotation. The fingers do not have to touch, that's not the point. It's just moving the arms in this way, shifting and exploring this different way of moving, which I'm pretty excited about. And release. Stretch out the face, roll out the shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, let's take that chin down towards the chest. And now this is where I'd like you to notice on that exhale, lots of release and letting go. Does your chin come a little bit closer to the chest than before? Big breath in. Exhale, take your head a little to the left. Inhale back to center, a little to the right. How much has that changed the range of motion? So what we're trying to do here, so just back and forth, just exploring this stretch. Stretching out the shoulders before we stretch out the neck. Inhale the head back to center, inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, gazing over the shoulder, just check out, how is that still feeling? Inhale back to center, exhale over, nice and tall. Inhale back to center, big breath in. Let's take our right hand just kind of behind the back, and exhale, take your, left, okay, this is your right hand, right ear to right shoulder, and your other hand is going to be down. Lift the shoulder, inhale, exhale, soften, allow there further to be length. Inhale, scrunch it up, exhale, just allow it to softly come down. Inhale, lift the shoulder, exhale, lower, inhale, lift, exhale, over. Big breath in. Good. And then we'll lift the head and switch sides. So taking ear to shoulder. Good. Just gazing forward, lift and lower. Lift. And as you lower, seeing if you can get that ear a little bit closer to the shoulder. Not forcing, just kind of allowing as you scrunch up and as you release, and just check out that range of motion. Okay, nice and easy. We'll lift the chin, release your arm, stretch out the face, roll out the shoulders. So I'd love to hear from you. Let's take the knees nice and wide. We're going to start rocking our pelvis just to see like what you noticed about your range of motion before and after. So tucking and lifting of the tailbone, just like we have in the past. Okay, now take your arms up, interlace the fingers behind your head. Big breath in. And exhale, tuck the tail, round the back, bring your elbows toward each other. They're not going to touch, but you're going to try to make them touch. And then inhale, lift the heart and bring the elbows back as if like to touch the back wall or to touch, the elbows together. Again, they're not going to touch. We just want to feel that reaching. Exhale, squeezing, tucking. Inhale, lifting. Chest is lifted. Belly comes forward on the inhale, exhale, navel towards spine, and exploring this cat-cow just in a slightly different way. All right, inhale, rise up, big breath in, lift that navel up towards your heart. Slowly exhale over to one side, keeping your heart lifted. Inhale up. Exhale slowly. Inhale up. Exhale slowly. Now this bottom hand, take it to the thigh. Big breath in. Exhale, this lifted elbow, just draw it towards the knee. Again, it's not going to touch. Well, maybe it will. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, like you don't have to force it to touch. What we want to do is just create this nice little thoracic twist. So more of a mid-back twist, because we did some upper. We'll do some lower in a minute. Sometimes this middle torso is a little harder to get at. Okay, hand back. Use that core strength to rise up. And let's come over to the other side. Exhale. Inhale up. So we're going to do 3. Keeping that heart lifted. When you come down. Okay, now we're down. Take the lower hand to the thigh. Big breath in. Exhale, turning elbow toward me. Inhale, open the heart, lift the elbow, and exhale, range. Inhale. And we're going to do 3 on this side too. So I think that's 3. Come back. We're still at the side. Return the hand. Rise up. And exhale, release. Good. Stretch up the face. Roll up the shoulders. Get water. Do what you got to do. All right, and now a nice little twist. So let's take our right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, slowly twisting and taking your chin towards the shoulder. Now inhale, just kind of unwind slightly. And exhale with that tall spine, just gently moving with the guidance of your hands. Inhale, come back, release. Exhale, sink into that twist, and we'll do about 4 or 5 of these. So we're kind of moving. It's as if we're inhale, coming out of it, exhale, coming into it. And then just check out how it feels. We come back to center. Good. Prepping, inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twisting. See how far you get, and then inhale, kind of release and come back. And exhale into the twist and inhale. Come back. So we'll do that like 2 or 3 more times. And each time we're just guiding the body, not forcing it, just finding that kind of, that it can be a bit of a fine line between guiding and forcing the body, but just easing it into this nice shape, coming back to center. Here we go. Inhale, circle forward. Exhale, circle back. And now check out the hips. And then when you're ready, changing direction, inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Okay, final stretch here. Fingertips turn inward. We'll do a shoulder dip. Big breath in. Lean forward, dip the shoulder, gaze over the other shoulder. And we'll do that little bobbing and twisting action. And create that resistance between hand and thigh. Let's switch sides. We'll do about 3 on each side. Inhaling up. And exhale, release. Let's bring those feet together and come to stand. So hope you enjoyed those new warm-ups. I'm really into them. Plus, change is good, right? Let's take our feet nice and wide, and we'll take the corners, feet into the corners. Just sink and rise just a few times, just to warm up. Stretch out the insides of the legs. Let's just come just down a little bit. Do that little hip tick-tock. We're going to do some hip stuff today too. Sink and rise. So let's inhale, down, expansion. Exhale, rise, contraction. Inhale, down, expand, and rise. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Grab onto your wrist. Just lean over to one side. Grab onto the other wrist. Lean over. Inhale up. Trace those angel wings back behind you. Roll the shoulders, feet come forward, and bring Whew, the feet together. Okay, come into our sun salutation. You can have your hands on the back of the chair. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can take your hands to the seat of the chair. I'm going to hold the back of the chair. And we're going to come into our forward fold. Reaching forward, softness in the knees, reach the hips back, softness through the shoulders, sway from side to side. Then we're going to pedal the knees forward and back. And as we pedal the knees, we pedal pelvis. All right, we're going to inhale forward, step with the right foot, press into the back heel, lift that navel, float your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down and step back. So not much has changed with our sun salutation here. Inhale, the left foot forward, press into that back heel, lift the arches of the feet, float your arms up. Exhale, take the hands down, just moving a little bit slowly so I can get in all these cues so that we remember. Inhale, right foot forward, press into that back heel, lift that back thigh, float your arms up. Exhale, and take the hands down and step back. Inhale, left foot forward, knee over ankle, float your arms, lift the navel, and exhale, hands down, and step back. So here we go, right foot forward, left foot out to the side a little bit. We're coming into our warrior. So knee is over ankle. Left foot is just pivoting it out a little bit. Squeeze the thighs together. Lift the navel. Let's come into our I Dream of Jeannie arms. Inhale. Exhale, lift them up over. Inhale down. Switch. Exhale up and over. And we'll repeat that. Up and over. Inhale down, switch. And exhale. Up and over. Great. Hands come back to the chair. Turn your back foot forward. And we're going to just lift the back heel, lift the front toe. So a little calf action. Big breath in. Now draw that back heel down. And exhale, soften this front knee as much as you can. You take your hands to the back of the chair, or you can place them on your chair, depending on the structure of your chair. Sway the hips slightly. Just try not to round the back. All right, let's just take the hands back to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. Lift that back heel. We're going to hop it back just so that we can come into this low lunge. Okay. So both your knees are pointed forward. Good. Now, big breath in. We're going to lean into this left hip and gaze over our right shoulder. And inhale back. And exhale and sink into that hip. And inhale back. So this is the one new thing here that I'm offering. Nice way to stretch up the hip. And release. Just hop that foot, few hops, and then step back into our forward fold. Big breath in. Any movement that feels good here. Whew. All right, big breath in. Take your left foot forward this time. Bend the knee over the ankle, and the right foot comes out to the side a little bit. Squeeze the thighs together, grow tall. Good. All right, arms out at the sides. Internal and external. Just ran out of space there. So that nice little upper body twist, internally and externally rotating, not just the arms, but the shoulders also. Nice and tall, press into that back heel, lift the back thigh. Continuing this good work for the back, and then release. Good, turn that back foot forward. And then we'll lift the back toe and lift the back heel, stretching out the calves. A little teeter-totter action. Good. And then that front knee can be bent to any amount. Come down on the forearms or take your hands to the seat. Just sway the hips a little bit. Check out how that IT band is feeling that inner left hip. And we'll rise back up, or you can actually keep your hand on the seat if you want to. Lift the heel, hop it back a few times so you can come into this low lunge. So really lift the back side. This back leg is really active and strong, pressing through the heel, lift the navel. And we're gonna lean into that right hip, look over the left shoulder, and you can kind of see the back foot there, right? Come back on an inhale, exhale. So you're turning toward the bent leg. All right, coming back. We'll just hop that back foot a few times. Our final forward fold here. Stretch at the base, maybe paddle the knees. Give that hip a nice big stretch. And then walk our feet to the back of the chair. So turning the chair, just to make sure that you've got your hands here for balance as we rise up onto the tiptoes. Bend the knees, coming into like a chair pose. Lower the heels, and then rise up by wrapping all the muscles around the bones, lifting the glutes, lifting the nails. Sorry, not the nails, lifting the glutes, lifting the navel. Connecting breath with movement as best you can. Last one. Reverse. Bend the knees, lift the heels, rise up, lower down. As we do this, keep the navel lifted towards the heart, and release. We'll do that one more time. And release. Great. Okay. Coming to the center, and we'll have the chair here. We'll use it for balance if necessary. And we'll come into what will seem kind of simple, but we're going to do things slowly and really draw lots of attention to our core. So lots of really good lifting up through the core, and then like also through the pelvic floor. So having your arms distance, we'll just start with hand on the chair, and we'll bend your outer knee here, so it should be the right leg, and kind of hug in the hip so that we feel engaged. So let the hip go, you can feel things kind of let go, hug it in, and already start this lifting, navel up, but also the lower abdominals. So we're going to move slowly, doing it with or without the support of the chair. We're just going to lift this foot up. Doing it nice and slowly. And see if you can feel like you're lifting this leg up with the pelvic floor, the lower abdominals and the upper abdominals holding and lifting there, as opposed to like lifting the leg. Breathing in and out. Okay, now we're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna lift the hip up as high as you can, lower it down. Lift it up. And we're still gonna really feel engaged through this whole like kind of girdle area. And down, good. Hug the knee in with one hand or both. You can always have one hand on the chair. Then we're gonna lower it down. And if it's available to you, grabbing onto the ankle, kind of point the toe and draw the knee down to stretch out the quad. Good. Release, let's bring it back up. Out. And cross, keeping your chest forward. Cross. Now, if you want to make it balanced, take your hand off. Squeeze like the thighs together, keeping the navel pointed forward. This will be the last one. Good, now cross the legs, squeeze the thighs, big breath in, and exhale, lean over into that hip. And feel free to really explore, swing that hip forward and back. Lots of great hip strengthening there. Inhale up and exhale, release. We'll do that on the other side. So once again, lots of attention to all of the muscles from the pelvic floor up into the upper abdominals. So we're just going to bend that outer leg and make sure that our hip is hugged in and engaged. We have this big engagement through the abdominals, and we're going to lift the knees slowly up. Okay, and we're just going to hold, maybe explore this balance-wise, lifting that navel, breathing in, and then we're going to lift the hip up and then down. You know, it seems like it should be easy, and it's not. I'm really finding this side, the balance, more challenging than the other side. Okay, that was 3 times. Now we'll hug the knee in, stretch it out. Continuing our balance. Take the hand back, and then if it's available to you, kind of point that back toe, grab onto the top of the ankle and stretch the knee down for a quad stretch. And just when you think it's over, it isn't. We go back and we squeeze the thighs, and then we open it out to the side. Stand as tall as you can. Great weight bearing on that standing leg. Okay, now squeeze in, lower the foot. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, lean over. And again, you can sway forward and back, up and down, just finding ways to open up that hip. Inhale up, and exhale, release. Good. So one more standing pose. We're strengthening. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to sink our hips down like we do for chair pose. And we're going to take our hands behind our head. So right now, my tail is really lifted, and I'm lifting my heart, and my elbows are drawing back like we practiced earlier. Inhale. And now exhale, round the back, tuck the tail, tuck the chin. Keep a bend in the knees. Now inhale. So it's like we're doing a little chair cat-cow. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the side. So lifting and rounding. Going your pace, your breath. Now for a little bit of fun, just lift one heel and keep the cat-cow going. And it should be the outer heel, I should say. Okay, inhale. Now we're going to round. Keep that tail tucked. Release your arms out to the side and gently lift the foot so it's just hovering, but your standing leg is bent. So there's a lot of thigh action here. If you wanted to a little more challenge for balance, you can keep the hands behind the head. A little more wobbling. But that is great practice for stability. Okay, now we're going to release. And exhale. Let it go. See what happens when I'm off for the summer. I come back with all kinds of inspiration. Okay, bend the knees back into our chair pose. Hands behind the head. And then exhale, round, and inhale, lift. Exhale, round, and inhale, lift. Really focusing on the back, expanding as we round, and contracting as we lift. Like, if you can observe that from the base, or like the top of the hips, base of the back, all the way up to the shoulders. Okay, Now we're gonna come into this rounded shape. Lift your outer heel, right, like that. And maybe starting by taking the arms out, so we're really tucked here. Our core is supercharged, and we're gonna lift this leg. We're gonna breathe. So tail is tucked, navel is lifted. And then maybe if you want that extra challenge, taking your hands behind the head and breathing. So our thigh, our standing leg here, getting lots of great weight bearing, lots of great strengthening. And then we're gonna release, inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Okay, just taking that chair to the top of your mat. And we're gonna come down onto the floor. Taking a sip of water if you need it. Reaching your arms forward, scrolling down one vertebra at a time if that is available to you. Tugging the knees. Stretch out the face. Tuck the chin slightly. Really squeeze the knees in so you can feel that stretch of the hips. Rock a little bit from side to side. Hug the right knee in, push through the left heel. Really try to squeeze that right knee in towards your armpit. It's not gonna touch, but just in that direction. And then the other side. And release, tuck the shoulders under. Tuck the tailbone, press the low back into the floor. We'll take our right foot over the left knee, slightly flexed foot, and push your right knee kind of away from the face. Okay, big breath in. And then exhale, we'll just start to lift the left foot so our shin can be somewhat parallel. It's not perfectly parallel, but somewhat parallel, coming close to the chest. Take your hands either behind the thighs of the left leg, grab onto your pant leg and kind of draw it in, or you can hug the knee in. And so right now my right hand is through that hole that I've created, that little passageway, and then just gently squeeze on an exhale and inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, just bringing it in, and inhale, release. So stretching out that hip. After all that hip work is pretty important. Be nice and gentle and easy with yourself. Maybe just coming back to our intention about, our commitment to routine, to our bodies. We'll drop that foot down, arms come out to the side. Now, cross the leg completely over as if you're just lying on the beach here in the grass. Big breath in, and as you exhale, let the knees drop to the right. Now, it might be that pretty early in the stage of dropping the knees over to the right, you start to feel a big stretch on the left hip, outer hip, maybe deep within. So the bottom foot should be the left foot. Feel free to move it a little more over to the right, exploring the position of the foot and exploring while keeping both shoulders as best you can connected to the floor, letting this come over any amount, any shape of the legs. And if for whatever reason, if this is too deep, too fast, unhook the leg, take it underneath, okay? So that you can be, well, not only comfortable, but safe. You don't want to overstretch. But I want to give you this opportunity to just explore this stretch after all of the work that we did on the hips. Okay, now we're going to release, take the knees back up, realign the spine, turn your navel so it's downward, tuck the tailbone, and take the left foot over. Make sure your shoulder blades are tucked under. Your left foot is slightly flexed and kind of push the left knee just slightly away from your face. Start to lift your right foot up and your shin is coming towards the chest. Any amount. When you stop, release, and then grabbing onto the back of the leg, holding onto the pant leg, or interlacing your fingers at the knee, whichever suits you best. And we're going to squeeze in, exhale, release. Inhale, exhale, squeeze in, and release. Exhale, squeeze, and release. Exhale, squeeze, and release. And we'll put that foot down, arms out to the side, cross the legs so that the thighs are touching. And we're going to let the knees drop over to the right. And here, exploring the position of that right foot so that you can allow for this stretch of the right hip. Any amount. And once you find that spot where you feel like, yeah, this feels like a stretch, it doesn't feel like it's hurting me, it doesn't feel like it's overdoing it, just kind of pause there, breathing in and out, allowing your exhales to let go of tension and to release. And I just caution you, there might be throughout today's practice, this comparison, like, oh, in June I could do this way better. And, because we haven't been practicing, maybe in the summer, very active and things feel different. So I'm just going to caution you to move into comparative thinking and just allow yourself to be as things are. Comparison will just add more tension to the body. And again, you could always remove the foot off of the knee if it's too deep. And then releasing, we'll take both knees back up to center, realign the spine, and let's hug the knees in. Push the low back down, maybe even bring forehead to the knees. Stretch out the face, get really small. Exhale, inhale, like a star, reach out. And exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, squeeze in, hold. And release down. Good. Take the feet nice and wide. And take the arms out to the side again. And then windshield wiper. Just for a final stretch of the quad. Movement through the hip. Like, get curious about the movement of the pelvis here. We tuck the pelvis, we tick-tock the pelvis, we kind of ambulate the pelvis like when we're in our forward folds, sun salutation. This action is a little bit different. I'm actually kind of searching for the word to describe it, but it's not really a twist, but kind of is. So all these different ways to move the pelvis to keep our hips healthy, supple, and release. Good. All right, let's press that low back down. We're going to extend your legs up to the sky and your arms up to the sky. And let's just point and flex, and we're just going to make a little fist with your hands and nod the wrists as we point and flex the feet. Gentle tuck of the chin, maybe stretch up the face, and then circle one direction, both ankles and wrists, and circle the other way. Now squeeze the toes, spread the toes, open the fist, close the fist. Breathing in, breathing out. One more little hug here. Stretch out the low back. Maybe a little rocking from side to side. And then of course, happy baby, feet up, knees out, grabbing onto the ankles, the shins or the outsides of the feet. Gentle rocking from side to side. And although we did a lot of hips today, we didn't do a lot of adductor stretching. So this is a nice little opportunity to stretch the inside of the legs. Bring the soles of the feet towards each other as you draw the knees away from each other. You can hold here. It's kind of breathing in and out, exploring, or you can move from happy baby into cobblers, back and forth. Just make sure that chin is gently tucked, not straining the neck in any way. Okay, yeah, that feels complete now. All right, so we'll release the feet down. Arms can come down to the sides, tuck those shoulder blades under, turn the palms up. Focus in on the breath. As we breathe in and out. Reaffirming our commitment to taking care of the body, the heart, the mind. Committing to bringing kindness, compassion, and friendliness towards yourself on and off the mat. Remembering that productivity doesn't have to be, something that you have to kind of like show for, like, you got this done or you got that done in terms of whatever, a project at work or a project in the house or in the yard or with a friend or a family member. That productivity can be an internal, we can receive this as an internal, intrinsic reward in itself. So taking care of yourself can be just as productive as, finishing what XYZ project. And arguably maybe even more important than finishing or starting or completing whatever project, whatever things that have to get done. The to-do list I'm talking about, that will never end. There will always be a to-do list. So taking that time to take care of yourself, so important, valuable. Just taking a moment to notice your attention, your tone of voice towards yourself, and seeing if you can allow yourself to be with the breath, with the body, observing sensations as the body expands And as the body contracts, each exhalation allowing for a sense of letting go or softening in the body. And again, bringing that gentleness, that kindness, compassion towards yourself. And when you're ready, we'll just start to bring a little movement into the feet, the toes, maybe open and close. Or squeeze and spread the toes, try to create space between the toes. Maybe a little circling at the ankle. And then similar with the hands, open and close the hands. Maybe with some gentle circling at the wrists. Just get all that fluid nicely moving. And then the face, we're gonna scrunch it up and spread it out. Scrunch it up, spread it out. And inhale your arms up overhead for a gentle full body stretch if that feels good to you. Inhale and exhale, completely let go, surrender to gravity. Big breath in, big breath out through the mouth as many times as you need to, really just cleansing yourself what you don't need. And then when you're ready, bringing the limbs in, rolling over to one side. Pausing here for a moment. And when you're ready, slowly pushing up to seated position. That position could be on the floor. You could sit yourself back in the chair. Your legs could be crossed, but they could be just kind of forward, whatever's kind of comfortable for you. Sit nice and tall, feel tall in the spine. Maybe stretch out the face, maybe roll out the shoulders a bit. And then just let yourself just kind of settle into this shape. This upright position, noticing this shift. And just see what else you notice in the body, the hips, shoulders, the back. And how about the mind, noticing the mind, the heart. Just as they are. I invite you to bring your hands up to heart center. Take a moment to really and truly thank yourself for taking care of yourself in this way. Thank yourself for initiating this opportunity to begin again, to commit to routine, commit to yourself. And bring the hands together and we'll seal in with a unifying Om as we inhale together. Ah. Thank you very much for practicing with me today and committing to this series of classes over the next 10 weeks. We'll see you soon.